All right. Hey, Shalom Israel, you live with the ISUPK. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have classes in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since 1969, the ISUPK has been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans descend from the greatest people that have ever walked on the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Uh, in the year 2022, there's nothing more important than for God's people to find out the truth of who they are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth, and that is what we teach and demonstrate here at the ISUPK. Tonight's class is titled "It's High Time to Awake Out of Sleep." This scripture comes from a verse in the Bible. I'll get it for you right now. Let's get the book of Romans chapter 13. We'll go to verse 11. So in this breakdown, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the heavy sedation um, that is covering the majority of our people in this society, in this world, in the year 2022, man. A lot of our people are asleep. And it's important that when we talk about being like, okay, for instance, there's a term that's used frequently today where they call someone woke. They say, oh, you woke, or you think you woke, right? Calling someone woke is a euphemism for saying that they are aware of what's going on. They're seeing what's really happening under the surface of things going on out here in the society. And to say someone is woke means that for someone to stand out as being woke, that means that the majority of people are asleep. And the people who are asleep, they are not literally asleep, but they are just unaware of what is going on around them because they have so heavily been programmed and been taught to think one way that there's no way for them to see the forest from the trees. You know what I'm saying? They only seeing what's in front of them. They're not seeing what's lying beneath the surface and what's beyond uh, what they can see in front of their face. And as children of God, we have got to see further than what's directly in front of us. Like, when you understand the Bible, when you understand the culture and the history of these people that we read about in this book, like for the Bible to be something that still exists today, the people behind it had to have amazing foresight to know that these words that they were recording thousands of years ago would be absolutely necessary and pivotal for the future generations to come to be able to receive. And that to have that type of foresight requires you to be more than just seeing what's in front of you. It causes you to be able to see way beyond your own self and way beyond your own life to know that someone who's going to come long after I'm gone is going to need to hear these things that God has me to say because because they are going to be important for that long. You understand? The Bible is a book that the people who wrote it are not here anymore. The men and the women that we read about and we give praise to and we honor, they are not here to receive that praise and receive that honor. But yet they put their lives on the line anyway. Why? Because they knew that there would come a time where their words would need to be honored. And so tonight we're going to talk about what it means to be asleep, what it is that has people asleep, and then what is required in order for you to be able to wake up. We got a question in the chat. Sister Kamala wanted to know, Can she get a breakdown on Second Ezra, the 16th chapter? If I could, Sister Kamala, what exactly did you want broken down? Did you want me to, read the whole chapter? Do you have a specific question on the chapter? What do you want me to break down? Second Ezra 16. All right. Let me know, Sister Kamala, what exactly do you want broken down? Because there's about 78 verses in this chapter. I ain't gonna read the whole chapter. All right. Okay, I'll read. So I'm starting to read it. What time is this happening? Okay, Sister Kamala. Well, first of all, to understand the context of what it is that we're reading, I'm gonna start from the top. Second Ezra chapter 16 says, it's verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria." What is the significance of Babylon and Asia and Egypt and Syria? These were the places that Israel went into captivity. These are the places that we were scattered into. So the Lord is saying destruction unto these places where we went into captivity and where we were scattered. Verse 2, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." So the destruction of the people who have enslaved us and where we were scattered, they are going to be destroyed. All right. Pause for a second. I'm reading now. All right, this is verse 7. I'm going to verse 17 now. It says, "Woe is me, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?" Verse 18, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges." All right. Reading on down. Okay, so I'm reading on down. This second Ezra chapter 16, Sister Walcott, is about the last days. It's about the day of judgment. Right? It's about the day that the Most High visits the earth and destroys those who have oppressed his people and judges the sinners and judges the wicked and judges the righteous. All right. So this time hasn't occurred yet. This time is, you would pair Second Ezra the 16th chapter with the book of Revelations and the war in heaven. Like, this is a chapter that is really about what's to come in the day when the day when the Lord visits the earth. And so that time is not yet now. That time has not come to pass yet, but it is coming to pass. With all these things that the Lord is saying he's going to pour out on the earth, and all of his wrath and his fury and his judgment raining down, and all of the suffering of those who have done evil, and the rewards that come for the good. This is all talking about the day of judgment. All right, Sister Kamala. So this is not talking about right now. We could be in maybe the beginning stages of this. We could be in the stages where the Most High is, beginning to visit this place, but it hasn't occurred yet. The time that we're reading about here has not happened yet. All right. Let me know if that answers your question, Sister Kamala. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Okay. But it's a very powerful chapter. Second Ezra chapter 16. Again, if you want to get a glimpse into the final days or the last days on the earth, right when the Lord begins to visit this place, that's where you would go. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, all right? But that time has not occurred yet, but that is the time, those are the signs of the end days when the Most High begins to visit this place. There's going to be punishment for all of our enemies and punishment for the wicked, while the reward for the righteous is also handed out. All right. Try to find the chapter in Revelations you appear there too. Let me see. Hold on. You would go. Hold on. Hold on. Revelations 12. Revelations 12 also pairs with First Ezra chapter 16, Second Ezra chapter 16 for Sister Kamala. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? If we don't have any other questions, we're gonna go ahead and get into tonight's topic, which is again, it's time for us to awake out of sleep. So we're gonna get the first scripture right here. It's Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. You understand? Like that scripture you just pulled out, Sister Kamala, that 2nd Ezra 16 is closer than when we believed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought that they would never see the day that our King returned on this earth. And for many, many generations of our people that have been trusting and believing in the Most High, generations have come and gone where they knew that, we ain't going to see the Lord in this lifetime. But in these days that we're living in now, with this understanding that's being poured out on the earth, and this knowledge and this wisdom from the Most High that's being revealed, we can look around and realize and acknowledge that, man, we are closer than what we thought. The day of judgment, the day of God's wrath on this place, the day of the punishment of the wicked and the reward for the righteous is closer than what we thought. And knowing that, it's time that we awake out of sleep, man. It's time that we awake out of sleep. It's time that we stop dreaming. It's time that we stop, imagining that we can create the world around us based off of our dreams, based off of our thoughts. Now is the time that we have to start dealing with reality. We have to start looking at life and looking at the society and looking at what the Lord said and understand that there's some harsh realities that we all have to face. You understand? And that's what the Bible is talking about when it says it is high time to awake out of sleep. You understand? Let's drop that. How did we end up asleep? How did we get to sleep? What is it that calls for our people to not be woke? Right? Get the answer. Let's get Isaiah chapter 29. You understand? I got Isaiah chapter 29. I'm looking at verse 8, but that's not what I want. Let's get Isaiah chapter 29, verse 10. You understand? The responsibility for the people to be awake lies at the leadership of the people. The Bible is a very important book because the Bible stresses the necessity of sound leadership. You understand? The Bible is very honest in acknowledging how people are. The majority of people are not leaders. The majority of people don't have the wherewithal or the self-will to be able to see what needs to be done and then make it happen. A lot of people are not self-motivated. They need someone pushing them, need someone motivating them, need someone encouraging them to get things done. That is why you have jobs. You want to know why companies like Amazon and FedEx and hell, General Motors and Best Buy are able to exist? Because there are a lot of people out there who need a boss. There's a lot of people out there that need a boss to tell them what to do, tell them when to show up at work, tell them when they can have some time off, tell them when their lunch break is. To basically establish boundaries for them, because they without those boundaries they would be powerless. They would be with no order. And you can see that very easily in our community when you look at the welfare system. You look at the government program system where, people are allowed to live rent free or live paying $20 for rent, and there's no requirement for them to have to work a job and get any money, and there's no need for them to have to they fixed sitting living on a fixed income, right? Now you would think that in 2022 somebody who has the opportunity to not have to go to a 9 to 5 slavery, to have their housing paid for, and to be able to get cash assistance every month for food and clothes and the things that the kids need. You would think that type of situation would put someone in an ideal position to be able to get ahead in life, right? You mean to tell me you got a government paid housing, you're getting government cash funds every month. You understand? You got all types of assistance programs helping you out with the kids and the daycares, and you still ain't got no money. You still broke. You still living in this rundown neighborhood that really doesn't have anything to offer to you and your children. Why, when you have all the ability and the freedom in the world to go and create whatever you would like to create? Like out of the ghetto, with the welfare system that's in place in this country, out of the ghettos should be coming all of the great artists and musicians and orators, people who speak well, and poets and chess masters and scholars. But instead, what you have coming out of these ghettos and out of these neighborhoods are, the products of low morality community. You got children being abused and molested and taken advantage of and hooked on drugs and neglected emotionally and spiritually and mentally. And they grow up rough and hard. And if you look at the coldness of the world, and all they want to do is just get a little bit of something for themselves. And that's pretty much the story of a lot of the children that grow up in these ghettos in America. But you would think, damn, somebody who ain't got the pressure or the stress of getting up every day and going to a job, man, you got 24 hours in a day, you could create so much. Well, what the oppressor knows is that the majority of people, they don't have any desire or any will to be great. They don't have any desire or any will to go out and create a lane for themselves and to, grow anything. Most people need to be told what to do. Most people, again, employers that are wealthy and rich exist because there's an abundant amount of people who just want to be told when to show up, told what to do, told when to go on break, told when they can go home, and told when they need to come back in again the next day. The majority of people need that type of structure in order for them to have a sound, regimented life. And that is why in the Bible, the Most High describes the children of Israel as being sheep. And all the responsibility for the protection of his people, God puts on the shepherds, which are who? Which are the leaders. You understand? The responsibility for our children to not be lost and to not be destroyed and to not be asleep falls with the leadership. You understand? And because of the leadership being asleep, or because of the leadership not doing their job, the people are asleep. Let's go ahead and get it. Let me get Isaiah chapter 29, verse 10. It says, "For the Lord has poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep and has closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers has he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the whole, has become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee, And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. Everybody understands? Meaning what? Most High has poured out the spirit of deep sleep so that the people who are responsible for seeing what's going on, they can't see. The ones who are responsible for looking into the future and understanding what's coming around the corner because of what's being put in place today, they're not able to see around that corner. They're able to see into the future. The leadership that's responsible for looking, what's the phrase I used earlier? Seeing the forest from the trees. There's some amongst us who are supposed to be responsible for seeing the forest that's hidden by these trees that we're looking at in the front here. But they have had the spirit of deep sleep poured out on them to where they don't see what's going on. They can't warn the people and understand what's around the corner because all they can see is what's right in front of them. And that's what it means to be asleep. When you can only see what's right in front of you and you can't see beneath the surface and you can't see, the bigger picture that's coming around the corner, it's because you sleep. But again, when you woke, you know what's going on. You know what's happening. When you woke, you see that LGBTQ is one letter short, and that's P. And if the LGBTQ is allowed to fester and grow, then right around the corner is the P. That's what it means to be woke. You understand? To be able to see that the Bible doesn't say anything about Jesus being born on December 25th, but yet people are pressured to go out here and spend all their money on gifts and presents and things that make them feel good on December 25th. You're being played. You're being gamed up into consumerism. You have to be woke to be able to see that, to be able to recognize that. You understand? But because all the men who are supposed to be, all the leaders that's responsible for warning us, because they are in a deep sleep, the vision of where we're supposed to go and what we're supposed to do has been locked up. It's like it's written in a book, but that book has been closed up and sealed. And that is what the Bible is. The Bible is the blueprint for how do we navigate these times that we're living in. How do we awake out of sleep? How do we stop being so asleep? How do we stop dreaming so goddamn much? Black people believe in a dream so much that they have not woken up and saw and looked out and seen the reality of this world. And that is what we desperately need to do as a people. We need to stop being asleep, stop dreaming, and start doing what's necessary in order to escape the hell that you're in. We can't see how to escape because there's no one that can read. There hasn't been anyone that can read the book. Everybody understands. See something. This is verse 13. This is Isaiah 29:13. It says, wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people drew near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Everybody understand? And that is what has occurred with us, man. We are in this deep sleep because we wouldn't do what the Most High said to do. And because of that, the Most High took away the understanding of the aged men. He took away, you understand, took away the understanding of the prudent men. And this is heavy because a lot of us that are in this generation now, we grew up without those wise men. Like the generation before mine, I'm thinking about the generation of my moms and my aunts and my uncles and them, right? The men that preceded them, their fathers and their uncles, that was the generation of black men that lived through the ends of slavery. You know what I'm saying? That lived through the end, lived through the Great Depression. and lived through World War I and World War II. Like that generation of black people born from the turn of the century until about 1930, those black people grew up in an America where they understood who the devil was. They understood who the enemy was. They understood what it was that black people were fighting against in this country. And they did their best to teach their children to understand and respect that you are black and you are great and you have got to go out and be somebody, or else this devil is going to devour you. And that's why in the 60s you had all those black power movements, because those black power movements were spurned by the men of the 1900s and the 1930s, raising their children to have pride and belief and knowledge and understanding in who they were, to have integrity and honor and dignity, to not let nobody strip them of their humanity. And that is why that generation in the 60s and the 70s was a powerful generation of black people. And they were going to be the ones that gave birth to this generation of black people. With all the power and the might and the love for ourselves and the love for the Most High. But somewhere in them 70s and them 80s, them devils understood what it was that was being birthed in the black community. That's why they came with the crack. That's why they came with the heroin. That's why they came with the weed. That's why they came with the woman's empowerment. And they came with the homosexuality. And they came with the, the war on drugs and the three strikes law and all these things that railroaded that entire generation, because that was a generation of black people that was going to be awoke, that was going to take over and reclaim our place as serving the Most High. But because our oppressor is crafty and cunning, he got us back on the hook doing evil. And that generation of the crack epidemic and the heroin epidemic and all of that, that generation that was washed away took away all the understanding with them. They took away the wise men, you understand, and their wisdom. So right now we are living in a generation that has been in that deep sleep because we didn't have any men to tell us what to look out for. Right now, there's black men having issues and problems in their relationships with their women. Why? Because they never had no man to tell them how they're supposed to be a man. You got a lot of women right now that that's frustrated with frustrated with the lack of masculine men that's out here. And so they have to be the ones who are masculine. They got to go out and be the ones that's carrying all the weight and carrying the load and trying to raise the kids and hold this down and hold that down. And because of their position, they have been brainwashed into believing that they don't need a man. And they just asleep. You understand? Well, how do we wake up out of the sleep? How do we come out of this darkness that the Lord has had us in? You drop that. Let me see. Uh-huh. Bear with me. All right, let's get not that. We're gonna hold Isaiah 9 and 2. That's not what they yet though. Um all right, let's get all right, let me get Isaiah. No. Man, come on, All right, this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 8. All right. We're talking about waking up out of sleep. And how do we wake out of sleep? We're in the sleep because the Lord poured the sleep out on us. The Lord said he poured out the sleep so that the seers and the prophets and the priests would not be able to tell the people what they're supposed to do. The Lord caused the deep sleep to fall on us because we wouldn't do what he said to do. But now we're reading in Romans that it is high time that we awake out of sleep. It's time that we come out of the sleep. And the question is, how do we come out of the sleep? What is it that's going to wake us up? All right. Let me get Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. This is Isaiah 60 and 1. All right. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee and set his glory, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy song shall come from far, and thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. Keep reading. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come upon thee. Everybody understand? The Lord said there's going to come a day when his light is going to shine. And when that light shines, it's going to chase away the darkness. Understand this. Part of being asleep is being in the darkness. And being in the dark, again, being in the dark means that you're not able to see. You don't know what's going on. You understand? That's part of the curses that the Most High said will befall the children of Israel as well. This being in a deep sleep is something that is really unique to us because we are the ones who the Most High always chose to show what's to come in the future. And so, let me see something. Hold up. Hold up. It's Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 29. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 29. There's also a condition of being in the darkness or being asleep. Deuteronomy 28 and 29 says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind grope in the darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Everybody understands? That is what happens when you are asleep. You'll grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in the darkness, meaning you'll go through life unaware. You'll go through life not sure of where you should go and what you should do and what you should eat and what you should drink. And should I smoke this or should I put this in my body? Should I have sex with this person over here? All of those, the lack of answers to those questions comes from the Most High not being with us. And the Most High is not with us because we are asleep, because we haven't woken up to the truth. We still believe in celebrating the 4th of July and teaching our children that bunnies lay eggs and, dressing in all green on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, we living in October pretty soon. At the end of this month, it's going to be kids dressing up as ghouls and goblins and ghosts and going door to door knocking on their door for candy from strangers. All of those things come from being deeply asleep. It don't take too much to make someone to realize that this thing you're doing and you caught up in is foolish. Turn back into the light. Everybody understands. So let's drop that. Let me get come on. No, let me get uh, hold on. All right, now let's get Isaiah chapter 5 and 9. I mean 9 and 2. Yeah, let's get Isaiah chapter 9 and 2. All right. Isaiah 9 and 2 says, "The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shined. Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil." Verse 4, "For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, and rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian." You understand? This is describing the people who have awoken out of darkness. How did they awake out of darkness? Because they saw a great light. You understand? A great light shined upon them. What is that great light? That great light is the glory of the Most High. That great light is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding being delivered to the people. That great light is an understanding that in order for us to prosper and thrive, we must begin to come back to being the people the Lord called us to be. You understand? The way that you awake out of sleep is someone has to give you a light to be able to find your way out of the darkness. You understand? All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 1. No, hold up. Proverbs 13 and 9. Let's see Proverbs 13 and 9. All right. This is hold up. Let's get Proverbs 6 and 23. In Proverbs 13 and 9 says, "The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out." Everybody understands? The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. All right. What is the light of the righteous? The light of the righteous is what the word that comes from you obeying the Most High. Again, Proverbs 6 and 23. Proverbs 6, we're going to start at 20. It's the verse 20. Proverbs 6 and 20, all right? It says, "My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon your heart, and tie them about your neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee, and when thou wakest, it shall awake thee." All I can do reading that is think about, the brother, the brothers and the sisters that sleep. Again, the Lord told this brother to bind the commandments of his mother and father on his heart. You understand? And keep them around his neck, meaning keep them close to you, like you would keep some keys. So that when you go, it shall lead thee, and when you sleep, it shall keep thee. When thou awake, it shall talk with thee. There's something that can keep you from being asleep, or that can wake you up out of your sleep. And it is the commandments of the Most High. It's the righteousness of God. Knowing the righteousness of God is what will keep you from being asleep, because every situation and every circumstance you'll be analyzing and saying, is that the Lord doing that? Is that the Most High in it? Where is the Most High in this situation? Where is the Most High with what's going on here? You ain't gotta, you know, go nowhere, travel nowhere, leave nowhere to get that light. You just gotta turn around your life and commit it to the Most High. And you gotta be serious about it, because if you're playing with it, the Lord ain't never gonna let you wake up. You understand? How is it that the commandments will help you wake up? Here's the answer. Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a light, and the law is light, and reproofs and instruction are the way of life. Everybody understand? The law is light. What does the law do? The law tells you, the law gives you the blueprint on how to make it in this life. And if you have that, you have those commandments, you have that light, then now you can see through the darkness. You understand? Man, hold up. Oh, damn. Light and darkness. Okay, hold up. Uh, it's Isaiah 5:20. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. So lucky y'all been battling, man, with some goddamn sinus cold, taking some medicine. I am going through it right now, man. I am dealing with it, but I wanted to make sure I came and brought y'all this class, because it's important that we understand that it is time that we awake out of sleep, man. So I want to apologize to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for bearing with me as I try to get through this, but yeah, I'm going through it. Let's get Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Everybody understands? This is, um, you see a lot of woe in these verses right here. And woe means destruction, and there's destruction for someone who calls evil good, and calls good evil. There's destruction that comes for someone that puts darkness for light. That's what this whole internet culture is about. This whole internet and the television and the radio and the streaming services and the TikToks and the Facebooks, all of it is about convincing you that the lies are real. You understand? Like, without the TV and the internet, without all of this, listen, people don't understand. People that's in the darkness, that's not woke, don't understand that everything they see on social media, it takes hours and days for sometimes for people to be able to manufacture that nonsense in a way to where you gonna watch it and receive it and be entertained by it. The internet is full of entertainment. There needs to be a disclaimer for entertainment purposes only, because that is all that is occurring on the internet. None of it is real. None of it is free. None of it is people living out their lives the way that they want to. It's all being dictated by people getting some goddamn money. You understand? It's so painful and sad to know that so many of our people are asleep, because they believe that what they see on the internet is real. They believe that what they're seeing on, these it's everything, man. People so goddamn sleep. Whatever you see on the TV, whatever you hear on the radio, you believe it. You think it's real. Whatever you watching a movie, you watching a show, you think it's so deep and it's so serious. When real life is not happening on the internet, real life is happening right in front of you. Real life is happening in that house, in that home, on that slavery, in your mind. That is where real life is occurring. But you're living under a people and oppressor that tells you that good is evil and evil is good. So you look on that internet and you on them that TikTok and all them apps and you learning about all manner of things that you never was supposed to learn about at all. I had a conversation with a brother today about pornography and an addiction that some men have to pornography. And I said, shame of here's the evil of pornography. The evil of pornography is it's homosexual. For you as a man to live through another man's sexual experience that you are watching is homosexual. Point blank, period. And as a man, unless you view it as being a homosexual act, you'll never really you'll never really stop dealing with the pornography the way that you've dealt with it. You might fight it, but you'll still be tempted by it. You want to free yourself from pornography, acknowledge that it is homosexual. That it is you as a man seeing another man have sex, and you are excited and aroused and you're able to release because of what it is you seeing another man do. That's homosexual. And I said to the brother, I said, you know what? It's crazy about that whole pornography thing is that's something that's fairly new on the earth. Like 60 years ago, before computers, period. Before computers, before VCR tapes, before VCRs, which came about in about the 80s and the 90s, you could buy movies on VCR and put them in that little machine and watch them on your TV. But before the VCR, the only way that you could partake in pornography is you had to go to some nasty movie theater in some deplorable part of town where there was prostitution and strippers and all manner of disgustingness going on, and you would pay to go into a movie theater. And in this movie theater is dark, and there's other men in that theater, and you in there in your trench coat, and you watching. They give you some goddamn towel and some lotion when you walk in the movie theater. And you sit in that movie theater, and the porno movie come on, and you in there in the dark with a bunch of other lonely ass men in the dark doing the unspeakable, watching some man do the unspeakable, and you getting excited off of that. Like it was an extremely disgusting and shameful and what about now? What about now? My bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. My bad. I was saying that back before VCR tapes, engaging in indulging in pornography was a completely shameful and disgusting deviant act. You understand? Back in the day, if you wanted to engage in pornography, like I said, before the VCR, you would go to a movie theater. And in some nasty movie theater, there'd be other men in that nasty movie theater. You go in there with your trench coat and your hoodie on, hiding your face. They give you some tissues or a towel at the door with goddamn lotion. You in that movie theater in the dark with a bunch of other men doing the unspeakable. And you knew it was shameful and disgusting, and you knew it was something you were not supposed to do. You understand? And that's what deterred men from it. You knew you were engaging in some deviant, horrible act. Even today, men who engage in pornography and indulge in it, when you're finished, you get that icky, disgusting, shameful feeling. That shameful feeling is you knowing that you just did something that was foul and that was dirty. You understand? But why does that even exist? Why is that even something that is at your disposal? because there are evil men in this society that wish for you to be asleep. They want you to believe that, you know, indulging in that is how can I put it? That it's somehow helping you, that it's bettering you, that it's, preparing you for a real woman when nothing can be further from the truth. It is a complete waste of everything in your and everything about you being masculine and being a man is drained away by the indulging in pornography. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of those things that has been created because of the deep sleep that we are all in. Because of that internet, a man is able to feel like he's been with a woman even though he's not been with a woman. And there's nothing better than being with an actual woman. Why would you sit at home watching another man be with a woman, chasing the feeling of being with a woman when you could just go be with a woman? It doesn't make any sense. But because you in the deep sleep, you don't recognize that's what's being put against you. That's what's being the witchcraft that's being worked on you. You understand? Another way that men are put to sleep, or people are put to sleep, is through witchcraft. It's through being, uh I'll try to avoid using the word drugged, but having a spell cast on you. That's what this internet is today. This internet is the new spell casting. You know what I'm saying? You go look at some of these documentaries about this modern technology and about these cell phones and these apps and about how the responses you get when you get a like on your phone from Facebook or you get that ding from a TikTok video, that feeling you get is tapping into something inside of your mind, a pleasure center in your body that's the same that the weed taps into. That the pills, the drug pills that you take tap into. Like this technology is being used to keep you asleep. It's putting you under a spell where you're chasing some feeling, chasing some excitement that isn't even real. It's made up, it's manufactured, it's pretend. And because you have grown accustomed to enjoying the pretend stuff, you forget about what's real. And that's what it means. That's being asleep. There are women who chase likes on the internet, but when a man compliments them in person, they feel like they're being disrespected, or they feel like, I'm good, no thanks. But all the likes and the hearts, you love that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the average person doesn't realize that these people who you are indulging on this internet, these people who you've been entertained by on this internet, they are working hard, blood, sweat, and tears to be able to entertain you. You look at that TikTok, you watch some dancing video, and you think, oh, that's cool, nice little dancing video. You don't know that they spent 10 hours to get that video to look just the way it looked for you to like it. That woman who's, you watch some woman on the internet working out, and she doing listen, working out ain't never been as nasty as it is now with the internet. God damn, I remember women just used to go sweat. I remember women used to put on little tights with a little spandex bikini over top of the tights, have a little headband, little armbands, and they would go in that gym and they would just sweat and get their workout on, ride that bike, and they used to be ugly in the gym. You used to be going in the gym to get sweaty and dirty and be ugly. Now you watching on the internet, bitches in there with makeup on, goddamn no drawers. There's some new tights they got where there's no underwears in the tights. The thong is built into the tights, and all her exercises is just her butt in the air. I ain't never seen so many ass in the air exercises in my entire life. It does not real. You look on the internet, you think that all exercises in the gym require a woman's ass to be in the air. That's not real working out. That's not real gym conduct. It's make believe. It's the internet. It's just staged. You understand? These people do not exist anywhere in real life. It's all fake. But you comparing yourself to the you so caught up in the illusion, so caught up in the dream that you comparing yourself to these people on the internet. You're comparing your life to these people on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and it's not even real. I know some of these people in real life. They ain't. They're very much regular people. They've just made the internet their job. But where are the people to where's the voice warning the regular people, hey, y'all know this is entertainment, right? It's just to entertain you. It's not real. Don't compare yourself to it. It's not a standard for anybody to try to live up to or to try to achieve. It's just a bunch of people trying to, okay. People are on the internet as their job, but they're doing it to escape a real job, meaning people trying to escape slavery. So they become internet people. But the only way that they can become famous on the internet is if they cause you to be a slave now. It's like, I'm trying to find the right way to say it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the people on the internet are not going to tell you, hey, y'all, this is all fake. It's made up. I shot this video 10 times before I got to this one. Don't try this at home. Or if you can't do it at home, it's okay. Don't worry about it. They won't tell you that because the illusion that the reason why you're enjoying them so much is because you believe, oh man, it's so effortless how they do that. It's so great. It's so amazing. So wonderful. When they do that shit 10, 20, 30, 40 times to get the right one to be able to put out there. Then you sit there, you watch it, these videos of these dancers. I thank the Lord that I grew up when I grew up. I could not imagine being a kid and instead of going outside and playing and riding my bike and playing hide and seek with the girls, and we used to play all types of little nasty games, play house with the girls and hide and go get it and Freaky Friday. I could not imagine instead of doing that. Now I'm not saying that was great, that was good. Maybe we should have been watched a little bit better, but oh well. But I could not imagine instead of doing that, I'm at home on the phone trying to learn how to do this dance. I'm practicing the dance, and you got to swing your hands this way, and then you got to clap, and then you got to do a little shake. I could not imagine that being my life because who the hell cares? How is that any fun? How is that how are you getting any enjoyment out of that? How is there any entertainment? But that is where we are nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's a result. It is the deep sleep. And the deep sleep is you being caught up in learning this TikTok dance is better than actual socializing. Being on his phone all day is better than actually talking to the people who are right here in the room in front of me. Being out at a public event and I'm taking pictures to capture the memories of what I did rather than actually capturing memories about the thing that I did. And we have got to that trickles down into every aspect of your life. It trickles down into everything that you have going on. People are more concerned with pretending that they're living well rather than actually living well. People are more concerned with pretending to be a good person rather than actually being a good person. People are more into pretending that they've got it going on than actually having it going on. When the Lord doesn't want you to be a hypocrite, He doesn't want you to put on a facade or put on a front. He wants you to live in the truth. Regardless of what that truth is. If you're having a bad day, have a bad day. If you've been down and you're going through it, be down and be going through it. If you know that you could be doing better in life and you want to have more for yourself, then do better and have more. But pretending and fronting your way through everything only leads to you pretending so much that one day you wake up and realize that you faked your whole life and now you have nothing to show for it. And that's a sad, sad way to live. But that is what a lot of our people have gone through because of the lack of leadership to tell them that they have to awake out of sleep. Again, Isaiah chapter 5, Hold up. Let's read this. This is heaven. This is Isaiah chapter 5, verse 19 says, 18 says, woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity and sin as it were with a cart rope. Understand this. There's someone who's going to be destroyed that draw iniquity with cords of vanity. Imagine sin being dragged with ropes of vanity, meaning you got this heavy sin that you're carrying and you're using cords that of things that mean nothing to pull it, right? And sin, as it were, with a cart rope. You're pulling sin with a big rope a rope you attach to a cart. You're dragging the sin with you, right? Verse 19, that's saying, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Now, the one who is dragging the sin, the one who's pulling the iniquity, the one who's wrapped up with the cords of vanity, they are pretending that they desire to hear the word of the Lord, that they desire to see the work of the Most High come to pass. When they are a hypocrite, they are pretending, they are lying. And that is what is in our society today. The people who are supposed to be believing in God and teaching you about God, they are the ones that are spurning and pushing everybody pretend. Everybody live this make-believe life. Let's get in on the make-believe game. Let's get in on the facade. That's why the things that happen in the church you see mimicked. I mean, things that happen in society, you're seeing mimicked in the church. When that's not the way that the Lord ever intended for it to be. That's not the way that we wake up. Keep reading, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Verse 21. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Destruction for somebody that thinks that they know better than the Lord, that their way is better than his way, that what they've set out to do is better than what it is that he required for them to do. Verse 22, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. You understand? How do you justify the wicked for reward? And how do you take away the righteousness of the righteous? Because you support and promote the hypocrites. You support and promote the evildoers. You support and promote the lies. And that'll cause the righteous to follow you in that. And now they'll let go of their righteousness to join you in justifying the wicked. And that is what it is that we are dealing with, man, in 2022. We are living in a world that is full of hypocrisy, a world that is make-believe. And the only way that you can get caught up in a make-believe world is if you are asleep. Your imagination runs the wildest when you are asleep. And too many of our people have been asleep for so long that no matter how much you teach them and how much you love them and how much you care about them, they'll never wake up. Or they'll wake up when it's too late. Let's see something. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to find hold on. Trying to find the right scripture about this light and this dark. Y'all, Bill. You get 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. Mm-hmm. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. Salakia. 2 Corinthians 4 and 6 says, "For the Most High, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Jesus Christ." Everybody understand? Like the Most High commanded the light to shine out of the darkness. What is that light shining out of the darkness? His laws, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The light of the Lord that's shining in the darkness is these classes where we teaching every week. And the camps that go out with a brother street on the speak. I said street on the speak. Salaki, y'all, I'm sick. That street on the speak. The brothers that go out there and speak on the street. You understand? That's the light of the Lord shining out of the darkness. That darkness are these neighborhoods and these communities where we come from, where we're born and raised and we live our lives and there's nothing but death and destruction and evil all around us. You know what I'm saying? That valley of the shadow of death. That is where the Lord has caused the light to shine out of the darkness. You understand? And He shined it on our hearts. Meaning what? He shined in our minds and in our spirits to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Jesus Christ. You understand? And what does that mean? That light that's shining through us, the Lord wants that light to return to shine on our King. And we are made to be a reflection of the light that the Most High has created. And the only way that you can be a reflection of that light is if you are living a life that embodies what that light is. If you don't live your life in the light, then guess what? The brightness of that light inside of you dims. That's what happens over time to a brother or sister who learns the truth about the Most High and understands the Most High, but don't really fully take to doing what's required of them to please the Most High. Eventually, you'll start to lose that light. That light will start to dim. It'll start to get dark. Before you know it, you right back in the place you were before you came into the truth. Brothers and sisters, fight that. Don't let that happen to you. Mm-hmm. Drop that. Get 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5. All right, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. It says, "Ye are all the children of light. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness." Verse 6, "Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." Everybody understands? That's part of being in the light. Part of being in the light is what? being able to see in the dark, not being asleep, not being blinded by what's going on, not being, caught off guard. Being children of the light allows you, the water, y'all, the light allows you to be able to see the path that you're walking on and to stay on that path and not be caught on one side or the other. But what happens to those who are not in the light or to those who don't embody the light? Verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Verse 7, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. So in the day when the light is out, that's when the righteous thrive. That's when everybody is able to maintain the peace because you see everything that's going on. But in the darkness, that's where the danger lies. In the darkness, that's where those who are asleep. Meaning what? Those who are unaware that the life they're living is destroying them and the life they're living is against the Lord. They do all the things that they're not supposed to do at night. That's when all the evilness happens, when all the sinning happens at night. But those of us who are children of the light, what are we doing while the darkness is out? We are keeping watch. We not asleep. We paying attention to what's going on. Why? Because we have to make sure that we protect ourselves from those in the darkness. You understand? Verse 8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. Keep reading. For the Most High has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Jesus Christ, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Everybody understand? This light the Most High gave us, he's given us so that we will obey him, we will honor him, and in that we'll be able to receive the blessings that he has for those who dwell in the light. And with that, we're going to get ready to clip the class. Salakia, Israel. I told you I've been sick, been battling a little head cold, taking some medicine. So I was out of it, but I wanted to get this class done. I wanted to get this breakdown out there. So I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. Salakia and Tawada, I appreciate y'all. But it's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Since 1969, since 1969, ISUPK has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that God's chosen people, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And there's nothing more important in these times that we're living in than for us to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on the earth. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? You brothers and sisters in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, come get in contact with us. Come get down with your brothers. And with that, I'll see y'all tomorrow for class. Shalom, Israel.